So for those of you who love the 80s and Atari, I was talking about pitfalls. So I actually found a video from the game Pitfall on Atari. So that's our my little nugget for you. Appreciate you guys taking the time today to chat. Really just want to talk about kind of some of the exit strategy conversations we have with our business owner clients. The thing I really love about this group is everyone that I've heard speak so far brings a level of expertise to the conversation that really kind of falls in line with what we do with our clients. So I really, it's really nice to have. So, so this is just a little background about me. Been in the business for about 20 plus years. I'm chairman. We do, I think the important part, we do goals-based financial planning, and we really focus on behavioral finance. Because as many of you know, when you're involving business owners and an exit strategy, trying to modify behavior can sometimes be a challenge. So that's really the part we focus on. And then as many of you know, I'm a aspiring plus size model, but that's not going so well. So frequent pitfalls when considering business and retirement planning. The pitfall one, I hear this one all the time. My business is my retirement plan. I'm sure many of you have heard this, which it very may well be. But you know, the questions I ask the clients is, okay, what if it is your retirement plan, what if you want to retire during an economic downturn? What if is your business turnkey? So if someone wants to look to buy your practice, is it ready that they can move in to take it over the first day they buy it? Do you have systems in place? Do you have a contact management system? Do you have, you know, processes in place? You know, how about if your industry could be disrupted by technology? I bet you there were people who worked for BlackBerry in 2007 who said this is the greatest thing and what will ever disrupt our business, because everyone in business uses a BlackBerry. So we know for a fact that that probably didn't work out so well. So another thing to think about. And then what kind of planning have they done in case the exit isn't planned? What if they get disabled? What if they die? Do they have insurance in place? Do they have someone who could step in and run the business? What does their spouse know about the business? So these are all questions. I think it's very important for clients to know that if you consider your majority asset being your business, what you need to kind of look out for on the risk management. So the next one, I've heard all different numbers, but it's usually $1 million or $2 million. You ask a client what their business is worth, and they just throw out an arbitrary number. I see Jody on the call. I'm sure that people have a valuation of their business that they have in mind that may not be jive with reality. So, you know, questions we ask: how did you arrive at it? Did you have a appraisal? Did you have a statement of valuation? Then about the business, how much of it is derived from the individual skill? You know, if it's if a key person derives the most of the revenue, how much is that going to be worth to a future buyer? You know, what are types of businesses similar to yours in the area of similar size selling? Do you have a comparable business to put yourself up against? And then, you know, back to systems. What do you have in place that makes your business desirable, that someone wants to step in and buy it? So then pitfall 3, I'm planning on bringing my kids or selling to an employee. I think this is a lot of business owners' dream, that they'd love to pass their business down to their child, or I'd love to have the employees take over. But the questions I think they need to ask is, first of all, do they want to run the business? You know, do they have the desire? Do they have the skill set to manage this business? You know, I think sometimes people have this in their head, but they've never even had a conversation with these folks, whether they want to, they're willing and able to take over the business. Do they have the operational? Do they have the financial competence to run the business? access to capital. I had a client a few months ago that they want to sell it to employees. And the question I asked them is, what happens if you do a seller finance note and 2020 happens again, and there's a huge economic downturn? There's a huge risk that those people aren't going to be able to pay you back because they don't have excess capital to protect the business. So you have to have guardrails in place, especially if you're going to be the one financing the sale. So, I think that's a often overlooked area that no one thinks of until they're thrown into that situation. And then retirement. So this kind of segues into, okay, we decide to sell our business. We're going to have this liquidity event. Then it kind of, for me, gets into the psychology. What are you going to do in retirement? What does retirement mean to you? Some people say, well, I'm going to play golf, travel, go fishing. And my response is usually, well, okay, there's 4 months out of the year. What are you doing with the next 8? And then, have you talked to your spouse or significant other about this? You've had a couple maybe who have both been working over the years, and now they're going to be together 24/7. Have you thought of the impact of that? And I usually get snickers when I bring that up because people really haven't thought of that. And, you've spent all this time apart. Now you're going to be spending all the time possible together. And how will people get on each other's nerves? That's a big thing. And then the other part is most business owners have been in positions of leadership. They've had people come in every single day who work for them, who look up to them, who provide guidance. And now all of a sudden, you're just the average citizen. And the example I've always I've always wondered, someone like Brett Favre. So Brett Favre goes out every weekend playing football, and millions of people were cheering for him. Then he retires and goes back to a farm in Mississippi. What does that feel like? Like, what is the psychological impact of going from a position of leadership down to kind of just a common, just living everyday life? So these are kind of the points that I wanted to get across, and obviously I'll open anything up for Q&A.